So here we are, the third installment of Brent's favorite mods. Let's get my mouth to work for me.
Yeah, one of my most difficult and one of my easiest.
All right, we'll get to it in just a minute.
Now this mod, it's a little difficult to get to for some people, but this one actually makes the most sense to me. A lot of people have, well, from factory, you get those small pull valve plastic handles, and if you tighten them on too tight, turn the screw just a hair too tight, they crack in half. Or if you don't put enough Loctite on the screw, they spin off as you're coming down the road and you lose them. That's a real pain. Then you end up having to use vice grips to pull the valves out or push them back in. What I've done, these little gate valves from a spigot. They're real easy. I just got an extra long screw because if you don't put this washer on here, the whole handle slides all the way in on the shaft of the pull valve. But the way I've got it set up right now, you can hit these from any angle, pull them out, push them back in, nice and easy. I keep my grays open all the time, so it's almost time to give them a little bit of a spraying. That's as far in as it goes. And then so you can have your hands on any angle, grab it with your whole hand or just a couple of fingers, whatever you like. But this one here saves quite a bit of money. Each one of these setups is, I think, maybe $3 to $5 with all the washers and the longer screw and the pull valve handle itself times 3, so I'm looking 15 bucks. And the best thing about that is those little plastic Bristol handles or whatever that come with the trailer, to replace those, they're like 15-20 bucks a pop, and that just makes absolutely no sense to me why they're so expensive. But cheap plastic, they crack, they fall off, they're not very efficient. If you pull too hard on them, they snap. These ones here are made out of metal, and I've had those on for, I'd say better part of 2 years and not one issue. So I know it saved me probably $45 to $60, because before that I lost one handle spinning down the road because I didn't put enough Loctite on the screw, and then I've actually cracked 3. So that's 60 bucks, and it just makes more sense just to do it this way.
So those pull handles worked out really well.
Yeah, and the price was right.
There you go, I can't beat that. All right, so now we're gonna move on to some a way more complicated mod that we did.
Yeah, it was probably my most difficult one of all, since I had to jack up the trailer and pull the wheels off. So that gives you an idea of what part of the trailer we're working on.
All right, here you go.
Okay, wheel bearings are all done. And now it's time to tackle the wet bolt installation. And it's got thicker shackles. The wet bolts have brass bushings, aside from the factory plastic ones. So I'm going to take out all the old stuff, put all brand new stuff in, and it should help with a smoother ride.
So one thing I have told you that I'm doing is swapping out all the wet bolts and shackles for my suspension equalizer. I'm keeping the centerpiece, which it's fine, made by Dexter, nothing wrong with it. I didn't feel the $250 to go to a mower ride would make that much of a difference. Time will tell. I might get one down the road, but I'm not sure. Anyways, this is the shackles and wet bolts that came out of the original, right from factory. And yes, they are wet bolts from factory. They had bronze bushings, which are still in there. And I just used the bronze bushings instead of changing them out. These are a little bit thinner, but they're thicker than some of that I've seen. This is the Moride. As you can tell the difference, they are both wet bolts, of course. And the shackles, that's a good twice the thickness. These came with bronze bushings, but since these came with bronze bushings from factory, I don't have to swap those out. So all I have to do is swap these out. I've done 3 of the 4 already. And one of them's a bit of a headache, so it'll just take a little more time, and then by the end of the day this will be swapped out and it'll all be good.
That was quite a job you had to do.
Yeah, it was. It was very time consuming, but definitely worth it.
And it was interesting sitting on top of blocks for about a week.
One thing I would like to point out, the wet bolts that I did use, they are torque to yield bolts, so they are a one-time use only, because once you torque them, they are set, and once you break that seal, you have to use a new bolt, another brand new bolt in its place. I did keep some of my old ones for emergency use, if I have to get down the road somewhere for a few miles here or there, but they're definitely a one-time use thing.
Okay. So is that it?
Yes, it is.
All right, that's all we wanted to share with you this week.
Give us a thumbs up if you like what you see.
Don't forget to subscribe.
And ring that bell for notifications.